Hi, thanks for watching. This video is to two goals for this video. One is to a few people have just said that they don't understand the graphs that are put up on the end of the age Bible prophecy. These are the earthquake graphs. They say they don't quite understand, so I'm going to go through what each of them actually means. And the other point is that a lot of people keep sort of continually saying that the earthquakes are getting worse and worse and this and that, but I'm going to show you that we're going to run through the data from July 2014 until the present day, and you're going to see that there's seasons of the year where they go up and down. These seasons are not to do with anything, you know, it's to do with something like out in space. It's nothing to do with anything on Earth. And they also have years, like in 2011 the earthquakes were a lot higher and consistent because he was swinging by us in 2011, and that's why everything, but he didn't come quite close to Earth to affect Earth in a serious way, although we did have the most costly, you know, natural disaster in recorded history, the Japanese earthquake tsunami. I'll start off just by looking at this first graph. The title says Red Alert Earthquakes, that's specific, and I'll show you what that means for the last 30 days. Now here it's actually got the last 37 days as well, but it says last 30 days red, so all these numbers here are the numbers taken each week for the number of red alert earthquakes in the last 30 days. I'll show you what I mean by that. Now I use USGS and stay consistent with that, so all the data is consistent. But what I would say though is that USGS doesn't always show important earthquake places, like it doesn't show the Canary Islands, and it doesn't show a lot of the UK quakes. So other programs that I use, the main one that I use is this one here, which is Live Earthquake Map. Really pretty good. You click on it and you get the data. Or you can use this RSOE, which also has earthquakes on it. You click on it and you get the data as well. The good thing about this one is that you can see other incidents as well, you know, like volcanoes and stuff. So they're the other ones that I use to get the earthquakes that the USGS doesn't show. But what I mean by red alert earthquakes now is that when you're on USGS, you click on this little wheel at the top, like a settings wheel, and it brings out your settings that you want to display. Now here you got like 1 day, all magnitude, so all earthquakes from 0 to the top will be shown, and then you have like 7 day. But what our graph, that particular graph, measures was 30-day significant worldwide earthquakes. So that is red alert, and now you can see that they have these in red. They used to have them all. They used to have the whole bar in red, but now they just have the writing in red. So you have to look, and obviously you can see that it just shows the most dangerous earthquakes, and you've only got 4 for the past 30 days. And you'll see later that, you know, that's a pretty low. Actually, it's a really minimum number, but it's a good place to start from. So this 30-day, as you can see, let's say you've got 4 here, the number 4. This is what, if we were to input the data that we just looked at, it would be coming in at 4. Okay, so that was the past 30 days. But you can see this in blue here, and you see this line, this dotted line that goes like this. As you could probably guess, this is like an average line, so it smooths things out, so you get a nice sort of ebb and flow. Okay, and then here in blue it says the past 7 days. So it's a red alert earthquake for the past 7 days, and visually you can see that this is a lot lower, and most of the time it's below 5. And what I do here is, all I do is I go across past 7 days, all magnitudes, and then I'll look. You click on 7 days and you wait a while, because it's going to load now all earthquakes in the past week. As you can see, you've got 1,400 earthquakes now loaded up, and basically I'd go through all of them. There's actually been none in the past 7 days because it's really quiet at the moment, but I'd go through them and I'd pick off the red alert earthquakes, number them, and then I'd input that number here. Like you can see, like 5 happened here, and so that is basically it. It's basically how many red alert earthquakes have we had in the past month, and how many red alert earthquakes have we had in the past week. So it's pretty simple really, if you think about it, if you don't think too hard about it, and then you've got an average line in between. So looking at these numbers now, you can see that way back in July 2014, the quakes, I started this graph, you see, this is like a review now of what we're doing. I started this graph at 18, but I can tell you, and you can look back at the images from End of the Age Bible Prophecy, and you'll see that on the Passover months of April through to May, the quakes actually hit 22 red alerts in 1 month. So they've actually dropped down, 22. They've dropped down, and by August of 2014 we were at a low here of 6. So we've dropped all the way from 22 down to 6 in 4 months. And basically, here September we're still low. October time still low. Now we had a bit of a peak here with the red alert earthquakes around sort of November time, and then December time we had a bit of a rise up. It's quite a big rise actually, and then back down again to January. So you can see there's always points of where it goes up and down, because like things can affect it from outer space. If there's an alignment of planets, or a conjunction as they say, they're basically like little electromagnetic balls, and once they line up, it's like putting batteries in line of each other. You get that charge and you get that buzz. It's like putting when you put two batteries together in a parallel circuit, you get more current. It's like when two planets line up like electrical magnets with Earth, you get more current and it buzzes it. That's what it's all about. But there is something out there, like it's called Nibiru, or the throne of God, whatever you want to call it, and it has a mega electromagnetic pulse, and if it comes close to Earth, then obviously we're going to get buzzed, and that's when you're going to see the big earthquakes. So going through January, we went up here to like 7, and then back down to 5. February 2015, and then March time, kind of went up a little bit and then down, not really significant in any way. And you can see this, you can see it by looking at the average line of what actually, what the real story is, up and down. And then something happened around sort of April time, because then we get, from April we start going up here, and we got a big, now this is what happens when I was talking about electrical balls. You've got Saturn, which is big electrical, and then you have the sun, and the Earth passed through in between them, so we got that electrical charge. It's like passing between an arc of electricity. We got buzzed, and this is why these numbers went straight up. In fact, that 21 there was a weekly number, but it actually hit 25. I remember looking, and it did actually hit 25 and go back down again. So you can see that we got buzzed big time, passing through the Sun and Saturn, sort of May time, and then through June, and then down, it come down sort of July time, it come down, and it was pretty much, that was like a minimum there if you look at it, 7. So we got buzzed from like May until July, a couple of months. And at the moment we sort of come up again here until the 13th. I haven't actually done any graphs from then on, but we've actually now dropped down again to 4, as you've seen before. So this red alert here for total number is actually down here now. So that's how that graph works. I mean, it's pretty simple. This graph here, again, it's just taking the red alert earthquakes for the past 30 days, which is your best measurement really, because it's over 30 days. Any calm or any increase it takes time for it to go through. So 30 days is a good scope, and as you can see of what we just looked at actually was over here. Oh, we see this big rise up here, this ping. It's a good thing I started this chart actually, but you can see this big ping that we had from the March. From this March time we had this ping, April sorry, through like May and June, and then back down sort of July. It was kind of dead there in July. And you can look at your space thing, you'll see that we passed through Saturn, then we started to rise up again, and that's why I highlighted this as an increase, as a watch. But of course, as we know, it's dropped down now to 4, so there's no need to watch that. And this is just a daily red alert, 30 days. So the number of red alert earthquakes in 30 days, I recorded it, not weekly like the other chart, not weekly but actually daily. So obviously you can see the numbers, and this was the ping. We can see it a lot clearer now, as on the other chart we had, we're just going by in between sort of months, and it's all taken weekly. But in this daily chart you can see here, it started actually 1st of April there, goes up May, and then all the way back down again, and then but since we're at a minimum now, since we've hit another minimum, we're at 4. I might actually start another one of these charts from now, if you know what I mean, because I started this when we were at a minimum. I mean, these numbers here are value 4. That's got to be a 3 then, that one. 29. Value 3. So I started that when it. But to be honest, these seismic minimums are just as weird as the increases. To be honest, I mean, it's so low. I mean, why is the earthquakes not just carrying on as an average? It's like an imbalance in the system, I think. I don't know. Okay, I'll show you this one. This is it says total earthquakes in 7-day period. Now, to be honest, it's pretty self-explanatory that it's the total amount of earthquakes in the last 7 days. And how we get this is, well, we've actually just pulled it up. We go to, I'll do it again. Here you've got your 30-day significant number 4, and here you've got 7 days, all magnitudes worldwide. So that's the one we want. You click on it, and then it will give you all the earthquakes in the past 7 days. And here you can see like 1,428. So basically all I do is take that number go to this graph on a weekly basis,